So I'm going to do my makeup with Restore's Glow Capsule and Prime Protect. I always start with Prime Protect. It is an SPF Mineral 30 sunscreen. It's also a tinted blurring primer. You can't get much better than that. When you get your Prime Protect in, it's an air-based can, so you're going to want to tap it on the bottom and then twist this, and that's how your makeup comes out. Isn't that cute? No trying to keep up with the lid or anything like that. It is just one little bottle, and it usually lasts about 2 to 3 months. So at the 2-month mark, I would go ahead and order a new one just in case, but that's if you're using it every day. So I use mine every day. So pump it out. I'm going to put it on my hands just like so. Close it up. One good pump will do you. And then I'm going to emulsify it in my fingers and just apply. First step after my Prime Protect, I always start with my brow color. I feel like doing your brows and filling them in kind of sets the tone for all your makeup. So I take my Line and Go brush. I just comb up my brows and make sure they're combed through and where they're supposed to be. And then I'll take the small end and go in with my dark brow liner from Restore and just fill in, starting with a little line at the bottom of my brows, and then kind of blend that powder up into my brows. I have sparseness in my brows. I mean, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you understand. But I will just go and fill that in all the areas, making sure that I don't go too far down on the side because I want to keep my eye open as far as possible. And like I said, just bringing that as forward as you need to and filling in all those sparse areas. Same thing, drawing a straight line at the bottom, and that kind of sets the tone for your brow, and you're filling in the upper areas, bringing that tail down, not too far, just filling in the areas that look sparse. Take your spoolie brush, flip it over, kind of comb those up, just making sure there's no like clumpy brown marks. And then to set mine in place, I've been using the Maybelline Super Fluff. I love this stuff. My friend Ashley turned me onto it, and it's got a little bitty spoolie brush, and you kind of just comb lightly, trying not to get it all over your face because I have done that before. And that kind of sets those brows in place. The following steps are really up to you, how in order you want to do them. Depending on how many blemishes I have, kind of do my makeup a little different based on that. So today I'm going to start with my balance color. This is Harmony. I'm going to go in with a small end of my brush, use just areas that I need to cover the redness, and then I'll go back in at the end and add any at the end just to finalize or cover up anything that I didn't get covered. This color is used to neutralize any redness or discoloration you have, so you're going to pick your shade based on that. Okay, so the next step for me is my skin tint. I know this looks a little dark for me, but really when it goes on, it's so thin because it's a tint and not like a foundation or a heavy cream. Super lightweight, velvety texture. You can't feel it on your skin. You really feel like you're not using anything, and that's what's so great about this. So I'm going to take my Blend and Go brush, just tap it in, and I'm just going to start applying on top of where I put all that other color and color correcting balance shade, and just using this color to blend as I apply. A little bit goes a long way, and so when you're applying, you're stippling it in and pressing it into your skin instead of swiping it and moving it around a lot. Make sure to bring it down your neckline so it all blends. You're applying your skin tint all over your face. That way, the next steps will go on smoothly right on top of your skin tint. So you have a good, solid coloring to start with when you're adding all your dimension into your face. The skin tint is actually a buildable coverage, so if you feel like you need more coverage in some areas, go ahead and apply it. You can always get an extra color too if you feel like you need lighter in some areas and darker in others. So following the skin tint, I'm going to use our 2-in-1 bronzer and contour. This is called our Lift and Bronze. You're actually going to use the small end of your Glow and Go brush and apply that in every area that you would normally apply your contour. Using a heavier hand for your contour areas, and then we'll use a little bit lighter of an application for our bronzer. So those are my contour areas. I'm actually going to use it down the bridge of my nose just a little bit on both sides. making that nose a little appear a little more slim. Use it under my lip to give it a little plump. That was like an immediate plump. And then I'm going to go a little bit lighter hand and apply it where I would normally put a little bit of bronzer, just to blend that out a little bit. Now that that's applied, I'm going to take my Blend and Go brush and just stipple, lift and bronze right in place where I had it. You'll notice that it stays concentrated in the areas where you put a heavier application of it. It goes right underneath your cheekbone, kind of right on top of actually your cheekbone. And then you blend in the bronzer area a little more widely than where you want to keep that contour line. Same thing here. I'm going to blend this contour up toward my hairline, just creating depth where I need a little, and then blending that bronzer area the same. I'm going to leave my nose contour until I get my brightener shade on, and that way we'll do it all at once. And next is our brightening shade. So this is the bright color. This is Honor. I'm going to take the same flat end of my Glow and Go brush, tap into it, and then I'm going to apply it in just the areas where I need that little bit of brightness. So I'm going to put it right here down the middle of my nose, right here in my corners of underneath my eyes, right out to the side right here. A lot of people will do this step last after your eyeshadow, and I typically go in and just touch up with it at the end. And that's really the only place I may put it, right here in the middle, and blend it in just a little bit. But I do want to tell you, I typically wipe off on my back of my hand any contour that's left on this brush, and just to make sure I don't get the contour in where my brightener needs to go. Another tip that I like to use is applying this on your eyelids to use as your primer for your eyeshadow. Now that it's applied, I'm going to take that same brush and I'm just going to blend. Just tapping it in place, because you don't want it to move around a whole lot, because you want to keep those areas highlighted right where you just need them. And you don't want to apply anymore. Don't pick up any more makeup on your brush, because anything under your eyes you want to make sure you keep really light-handed, because the heavier makeup that you put there, the more it settles in your fine lines and creases. I'm going to take a little bit more of this and apply it on my eyelid. And all this does is give something for your eyeshadow to stick to. Makes more of a neutral palette for your eyeshadows. You see I covered up all that darkness on my eyelids. All right, so that is your bright shade. And again, I'm going to blend this with my Blend and Go brush and just tap that in place right on my nose. Then we're going to move on to eyeshadow. I'm going to be using 4 eyeshadow colors today. If you can see them on my hand right here, we're going to use Mary Lou, this is Helen, Nell, and Stevie. So all of our eyeshadows, our blush and balm colors, are named after our founding mentors, mothers and grandmothers. All right, so we're going to start with the color Nell. This is going to be used as our base color. I'm just going to apply it all over my lid in a really light sweeping motion from the corner to the outer edge. Next, I'm going to go in with the color Stevie, which is the darker of the shades. This is Stevie. She's kind of a dark mahogany, kind of brownish red color. Same brush, same end, the fluffy end. I'm just going to apply it on this outside corner, making sure not to go too far out, but to bring it in and blend it in with that Nell toward the middle. You're going to want to make sure you bring your eyeshadows up above the crease of your eye, especially if you have hooded eyes like me, so when you open your eye, you can actually see it. You want to make sure, look at yourself, direct on, look at yourself again, and make sure your eyeshadow is above that crease of your hooded eye. Next is the color Helen. I'm going to take the small flat side Shade and Go brush, tap into it. It's more of a shimmer color. I'm going to apply it right to the middle of my eye. And I'm not going to blend that too much, because I'm going to take and blend in Mary Lou with it. So you can see I just put it just in the middle, right above my iris. Not blending it too high or anything. Take Mary Lou at the same end of the brush and go in right in the corner. Mary Lou's a little bit brighter of a shade than Helen. And so I'm just going to blend that right on up to the Stevie on the top and right into the Helen. Flip my brush over, make sure I don't have any excess eyeshadow on it, and just blend all these colors together. You want to use your eyeshadow brush really light-handedly when you're blending, because you don't want to wipe off all the colors. Blush and balm colors are your next step. So this is the color Marie. I'm going to apply her right to the center of the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to blend her back And I love that we can mix and match all these colors together when it comes to the blush and balm colors. So I'm also going to pick up the half size version of Mimi. I'm going to use this color on my lips too. Go in with that same brush. I'm going to apply hair feather to the back, kind of giving an ombre look where it's a little darker in the back and lighter in the front. Last step besides finishing my eyes with mascara is going to be going in with my Glow and Go brush again and using my contour. I'm going to use it just as a little bit of a lip liner. Nothing real heavy. And then I'm going to go in with the other side of the same brush and go into Mimi and apply it lightly on my lips. That is it for today. This is the Tartelette XL, which I really, really like. All right, that's my final look. I think my makeup looks pretty damn good, if I say so myself. I love that I can't feel it on my skin. It's like the best thing ever. Previous makeups, you know, were kind of tacky, and this is not. And this is my palette. So these are all the colors that I used today. My skin tint, my balance, my bright, my lifted bronze. This is my brow liner, my 2 blush and balm shades, and my 4 eyeshadows. All in one compact. Really, really neat that it all fits in one place. The only thing extra I had was my mascara.